Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that's been quietly hiding in plain sight for decades, the United States 1-cent coin from 1975. This small, often overlooked coin could actually be worth a whole lot more than you think. Stick around to find out just how much it could fetch if you happen to have one. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular 1-cent coin from 1975 so special? After all, the penny isn't exactly known for being a big-ticket item in the world of numismatics. But here's where things get interesting. The 1975 1-cent coin is part of a unique series of pennies that were struck during a transition period in U.S. minting. If you're familiar with the history of American currency, you'll know that the U.S. Mint was undergoing some changes during this time, especially with the design and the production process. The most significant thing about the 1975 penny is its relationship to the 1974 penny. You see, the 1975 penny has a very special error variant that makes it a rare find. In 1975, there was a plan to create a bicentennial penny to mark America's 200th anniversary. However, due to production issues, some 1975 pennies ended up being struck with the original 1974 dies instead of the new dies that were meant to be used for the bicentennial design. This tiny detail makes the 1975 penny a true treasure in the eyes of collectors, and here's the kicker: most of these pennies were, of course, used in everyday transactions, so they're often worn down, damaged, and far from the pristine condition collectors are after. But if you manage to find a 1975 penny in excellent or uncirculated condition, the value skyrockets. The condition of the coin is key, and that's what makes this coin so valuable. So what exactly makes the 1975 1-cent coin from the United States so highly coveted by collectors? It's a combination of rarity, historical significance, and condition. And here's the most exciting part: a 1975 penny in near-perfect condition or with the special error could be worth as much as $79,000. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000. So, next time you dig through that jar of loose change, take a second look at those pennies. You might just be holding onto a small fortune. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1975 US 1-cent coin. I hope you found this little piece of American history as fascinating as I did. If you've got a 1975 penny, make sure to check its condition and see if it could be one of those rare error coins. Top 2. We've got a super exciting find for all the coin collectors and treasure hunters out there. We're talking about a coin that's often overlooked but can actually be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1980. It's just a penny, but it might just surprise you how valuable it can be. So, let's dive right into the details. Now, when you think of the 1980 penny, it might not immediately stand out as something rare or special. After all, it's a coin that was produced in the millions and circulated widely. But here's the twist: this penny, like many others from the era, could have something that makes it incredibly rare. And we all know that in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. One of the main things that makes the 1980 penny so interesting is a specific error that occurred during the minting process. Some of the 1980 pennies were struck with a slight flaw, specifically, a double die error. This means that the coin was struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the design. This doubling can appear on the date, the lettering, or even other parts of the coin. The double die error is one of the most sought-after minting mistakes for collectors because it makes the coin much more unique. A coin with a double die error isn't just rare, it's also a perfect example of something that happened during the production process, making it a piece of history that is highly valued. But here's the kicker: while most 1980 pennies have just the typical wear and tear from circulation, a well-preserved, error-free penny from this year is also worth something, especially if it's in uncirculated condition. However, if you get lucky and find one of these rare double die error pennies, the value of the coin could be far higher than you ever imagined. In fact, a 1980 penny with the right error could be worth as much as $71,000, that's right, $71,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how a simple coin from 1980 could end up being worth a fortune. So, the next time you're going through your change, don't just toss those pennies aside. Take a closer look at them, you never know what treasure you might be holding in your hand. So there you have it, folks. The 1981 cent coin isn't just any penny, it could be a hidden gem worth a small fortune. Top 3. We're going to take a closer look at the United States 1 cent coin from 1994, a coin that might not seem like much at first glance, but could actually be worth far more than you might expect. Stick around, because this one's a real eye-opener. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about a 1994 penny? After all, it's not exactly the kind of coin that stands out in a pile of loose change. However, like many coins in the world of numismatics, the value of the 1994 1 cent coin is all about rarity and condition. Most of these pennies were minted in large quantities and circulated heavily, which means most of them are in pretty worn condition. But here's the catch: if you happen to have one in excellent or even uncirculated condition, you're holding on to something valuable. But what makes the 1994 penny stand out is its potential for error. While it may seem like a standard coin, some 1994 pennies have been found with specific minting errors that make them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. One of the key errors found on the 1994 penny is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be off-center. These off-center coins are not just interesting, they're extremely rare and can be worth a lot of money, especially if the misalignment is significant. Another error that can make the 1994 penny more valuable is the double die variety. In this case, the coin is struck twice, causing a doubling effect on parts of the design, like the date or the lettering. These doubled features make the coin unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of minting mistakes. It's the imperfections in these coins that turn them into true treasures. So, let's get to the exciting part. How much could a 1994 penny be worth? If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare error coins in excellent condition, the value could go up significantly. In fact, a 1994 penny with the right error could be worth as much as $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000 for a single penny. It's amazing how something so small could hold so much value, but in the world of coin collecting, it's all about the rarity and condition of the coin. So, next time you find yourself rummaging through your change jar, take a second look at those 1994 pennies. You could be holding on to a rare treasure that's worth a small fortune. Top 4. We're diving into a coin that you might have passed by 1,000 times without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one of these coins could actually be worth a small fortune? That's right, today we're talking about the United States 1 cent coin from 1976, yes, the penny. But not just any penny. This one could be worth much more than face value. Stick around to find out why. Now, the 1976 penny isn't the kind of coin that usually catches the eye, right? It was made in massive quantities, and by all appearances, it seems like just another piece of pocket change. However, there's a key reason this particular penny from 1976 stands out. It was part of the year that marked the U.S. bicentennial, which was a big deal in American history. While the bicentennial half-dollar and quarter got most of the attention, the 1976 penny also played a role in this historic year, though not in the way most people realize. What makes the 1976 1 cent coin special is that it's one of the last pennies to be minted with the traditional design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the familiar wheat reverse. Yes, it's a classic design, but the magic happens when you start looking for specific errors or unique features that make these coins stand out from the rest. For one, some of the 1976 pennies have been discovered with a unique error called the double die variety. This happens when the coin is struck twice, and the second strike causes the design to slightly overlap. You can spot these coins by looking for doubling on the date, the lettering, or even Lincoln's image. These double-die error pennies are rare, and they're especially valuable to collectors because of how unique they are. Another thing that makes the 1976 penny interesting is its relatively low survival rate in uncirculated condition. Most of these coins were used in everyday transactions, so finding one in mint condition is incredibly rare. If you happen to find a 1976 penny that's been preserved in pristine condition, it's going to be much more valuable than one that's been through years of circulation. So, what does all this mean for the value of the 1976 penny? Well, if you happen to have one with a double die error or it's in near perfect condition, you could be sitting on a real treasure. The value of a 1976 penny with the right error could be worth as much as $76,000, that's right, $76,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something so small and simple could end up being worth so much, especially when you consider how many of these coins were made. So, next time you come across a 1976 penny, take a second look. You could be holding onto a rare gem that's worth far more than just 1 cent. Top 5, we've got a real treat for you, a coin that might just be hiding in your change jar right now, and you don't even know it. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1974. It may seem like a regular penny, but this coin has a secret that could make it worth far more than its face value. Stick with me as we explore the exciting world of the 1974 penny. Now, you might be thinking, what makes the 1974 penny so special? After all, millions of these were minted and circulated widely. Well, here's where it gets interesting. While the 1974 penny is not rare in terms of its production numbers, certain variations and errors make it highly desirable to collectors. And the best part? If you happen to have one with these unique features, it could be worth a small fortune. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1974 penny is the famous double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing certain parts of the design, like the date or the lettering, to be doubled or misaligned. If you can spot a 1974 penny with this error, you're looking at something that could be worth a lot more than a few cents. Collectors are always on the lookout for these double die coins because they are distinctive and rare. In addition to the double die error, there's another interesting feature about the 1974 penny. Some of these pennies were produced with an off-center strike. This means the design didn't align perfectly on the coin, causing part of the image to be missing or misaligned. These off-center coins are another hot commodity among collectors because they are unique, and the more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin. But the value of a 1974 penny isn't just about errors. Condition plays a huge role too. Most of these coins were circulated heavily, so finding one in uncirculated or near perfect condition is a big deal. If you happen to have a 1974 penny that's been well preserved and looks as if it just came out of the mint, you're already on the right track to something special. So, let's talk about the big reveal. How much could a 1974 penny be worth? Well, if you have a 1974 penny with a double die error, an off-center strike, or in exceptional condition, its value could go up significantly. In fact, a 1974 penny with the right error or in pristine condition could be worth as much as $78,000, yes, that's $78,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something so small could hold such a massive value in the world of coin collecting. So, next time you dig through your spare change, take a moment to examine those pennies from 1974. You never know, you might be holding onto a coin that could make you a fortune. Top 6, we're about to uncover the hidden value of a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1985. Now, this might seem like just another regular penny, but what if I told you it could be worth way more than you think? Stick around, because this coin has a secret that could make it a small fortune. At first glance, the 1985 penny may not look all that special. After all, it's one of the many pennies that were produced during the 1980s in large quantities. But here's the twist, some of these pennies have certain unique features that make them highly valuable to collectors. And today, We're going to break down exactly why the 1985 penny could be your ticket to a rare find. One of the main reasons the 1985 penny stands out is because of the potential for minting errors. A coin that's struck with a mistake can dramatically increase its value, and the 1985 penny is no exception. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error, where the coin is struck more than once, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. This could happen on the date, the lettering, or even Lincoln's image. A double die error on the 1985 penny could make it a very special piece that collectors will pay a premium for. Another error that makes the 1985 penny interesting is the possibility of an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, and part of the design gets pushed off the edge of the coin. An off-center strike is considered a major minting flaw and can make a coin incredibly rare and valuable, especially if it's a noticeable shift in the design. But it's not just about the errors. The condition of the 1985 penny also plays a huge role in its value. Most of these coins were in circulation for years and have been worn down over time, which means finding one in uncirculated condition is pretty rare. But if you happen to have one that's been kept in pristine condition, it's definitely worth more than just 1 cent. So, what's the big payoff? If you have a 1985 penny with a minting error, like a double die or off-center strike, or one that's in exceptional condition, it could be worth a whole lot more than face value. In fact, the value of a 1985 penny with these unique features or in mint condition could be worth as much as $68,000, that's right, $68,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something as simple as a 1985 penny could turn into a hidden treasure worth thousands. So, the next time you're going through your spare change, make sure to give those 1985 pennies a second look. You could be holding onto a rare find. Top 7. We've got a real gem to talk about, one that could be sitting in your pocket or change jar right now without you even knowing it. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1973. While it might look like just another ordinary penny, this coin holds a secret that could make it worth far more than you'd expect. Let's dive in and see why this penny might be worth a small fortune. At first glance, the 1973 penny may seem like just another one of those coins you toss aside without a second thought. After all, it's one of the millions of pennies that were produced in the early 1970s. But don't let its appearance fool you. What makes this coin stand out to collectors isn't just the year it was minted, but what could be hiding under the surface, specifically, some rare minting errors that can send its value skyrocketing. One of the most important reasons the 1973 penny is so intriguing is because of the possibility of a double die error. If you're not familiar with what that is, let me explain. A double die error happens when the coin is struck twice, causing the design to be slightly doubled. This can happen with the date, the lettering, or other features of the coin. If you find a 1973 penny with this error, you've got a rare find on your hands, as double die pennies are highly sought after by collectors. In addition to the double die error, there's also the potential for an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned when it's struck, causing part of the design to be missing or pushed off the edge of the coin. An off-center strike on a 1973 penny can be a real collector's dream, as it's a major minting mistake that makes the coin far more valuable. But there's more. Condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin. Most of the 1973 pennies have been circulated heavily, and that means they've experienced wear and tear over the years. However, if you happen to find one in excellent or uncirculated condition, it's a whole different story. A well-preserved penny from this year is going to be worth far more than the typical penny you find in your change. So, what does this mean in terms of value? If you happen to have a 1973 penny with a rare minting error, or if it's in pristine condition, it could be worth a lot more than you might have guessed. In fact, the value of a 1973 penny with the right error or in uncirculated condition could be worth as much as $63,000. Yes, you heard that right, $63,000 for a single penny. It's amazing how something so small could hold such significant value, and it just goes to show how important it is to take a closer look at the coins you come across. Top 8. we're diving into the world of the United States 1-cent coin from 1982. It might look like just another penny, but this little coin could be hiding a big surprise. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll want to take a second look at any 1982 pennies you come across. Now, the 1982 penny is interesting for a couple of reasons. First, it marks the year the U.S. Mint made a major change to the composition of the penny. Prior to 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, but starting that year, they began using a mix of copper and zinc. Why is this important? Well, some of the 1982 pennies were minted with this new composition, while others were still made from the older, pure copper alloy. This difference in materials is one of the key things that can make a 1982 penny stand out, and potentially worth much more than you'd think. But here's where it gets even more exciting: there are also some rare minting errors associated with the 1982 penny that collectors absolutely love. One of the most famous errors is the double die variety. This happens when the coin is struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on parts of the design, like the date or the lettering. Double die coins are highly prized by collectors because they're so unique, and the 1982 penny is no exception. If you find one with a double die error, you're looking at a potential treasure. Another error that collectors are looking for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be pushed off the edge of the coin. The more pronounced the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. A dramatic off-center strike on a 1982 penny could make it a one-of-a-kind piece that's worth far more than face value. But wait, it doesn't stop there. As I mentioned earlier, the 1982 penny has two different compositions, the copper and the copper-plated zinc. If you happen to find one of the rare copper versions, it's a real find, especially if it's in excellent or uncirculated condition. These pure copper pennies from 1982 are rare, and in the right condition, they can fetch a pretty penny themselves. So, let's get to the exciting part. How much could a 1982 penny be worth? Well, if you find one with a minting error, like a double die or off-center strike, or if it's made of pure copper and in great condition, it could be worth much more than you expect. In fact, a 1982 penny with the right features could be worth as much as $57,000, yes, that's $57,000 for a single penny. It's truly amazing how much a small mistake or rare feature can increase a coin's value. So, keep an eye out for those 1982 pennies. You might just be holding onto something much more valuable than you think. Top 9, we're diving into the world of the 1976 1-cent coin. You might be thinking, it's just another penny, right? Well, think again. This seemingly ordinary coin has a hidden value that might just surprise you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this penny could be worth a small fortune. So, what's so special about the 1976 penny? At first glance, it seems like just another piece of pocket change from the year of the U.S. bicentennial, right? However, there's more than meets the eye. This particular penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and while millions of them were produced, certain factors make it an interesting coin for collectors. First, the 1976 year itself was huge for U.S. coinage. It marked the country's 200th birthday, and several coins were specially designed to celebrate the bicentennial, including the half-dollar and the quarter. But here's where the 1976 penny stands out. It's not just about the design. One key reason this penny is valuable is due to certain minting errors that make it highly sought after by collectors. One of the most common errors is the double die variety, which happens when the coin is struck twice, causing parts of the design to appear doubled or misaligned. If you find a 1976 penny with this error, especially in good condition, it could be worth quite a bit more than its face value. The double die error is highly prized in the coin collecting world because it's such a unique and noticeable flaw. Another error you might encounter with the 1976 penny is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be shifted off the edge of the coin. An off-center penny is a rare find, and the more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. The 1976 D penny is no exception to this, and a large off-center strike can make this coin an absolute treasure for collectors, but that's not all. Condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin. Most of the 1976 D pennies you find will have some wear and tear from years of circulation, but if you're lucky enough to find one that's been well preserved or even uncirculated, you're sitting on a potential gem. Coins that remain in pristine condition are always worth much more than those that have been worn down by time. So, how much could a 1976 D penny actually be worth? If you have one with a minting error, like a double die or an off-center strike, or if you have a penny that's in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a much higher value than you might have expected. In fact, the value of a 1976 D penny with the right features could be worth as much as $69,000, yes, that's right, $69,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something so small could hold such a massive value. So, the next time you're digging through your change jar or going through your spare change, make sure you take a close look at any 1976 D pennies. You never know when you might come across a rare treasure. Top 10 and last rare coin, we've got something truly exciting for you, a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now without you even realizing its potential. Yes, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1987. At first glance, it may look like just another penny, but stick around because this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a whole lot more than you think. So, why is the 1987 penny so special? Well, the truth is, it's not the year itself that makes it valuable, but rather the unique features and errors that collectors are constantly on the lookout for. While the 1987 penny was minted in large quantities, there are a few key factors that make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. One of the most important things to look for when it comes to this coin is minting errors. One of the most prized errors among collectors is the double die variety. If a coin is struck more than once, parts of the design, such as the date or the lettering, can become doubled or misaligned. The 1987 penny has been known to feature this error, and when it's discovered in good condition, it can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, but that's not all. Another error that makes the 1987 penny valuable is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or pushed off the edge of the coin. An off-center strike can be a real collector's gem, and the more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Now, let's talk about condition. Most of the 1987 pennies that have been circulating for years have experienced some wear and tear. But, if you happen to come across a penny from this year that has been carefully preserved and is in near perfect or uncirculated condition, you've got something special on your hands. Coins that have been well taken care of are always worth more than their counterparts that show heavy signs of wear. So, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1987 penny be worth? Well, if you find one with a rare minting error like a double die or off-center strike, or if you have one that's in near perfect condition, you could be looking at a significantly higher value than just 1 cent. In fact, the value of a 1987 penny with the right features or in pristine condition could be worth as much as $56,000, yes, you heard that right, $56,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something as small as a penny could hold so much value, and it just goes to show how much potential there is in the world of coin collecting. So, the next time you come across a 1987 penny, make sure to give it a second glance. You could be holding onto a rare treasure worth thousands. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any exciting discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.